Chapter 81 I don't want to play with her and play with the rest. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao Wu followed Ye Qiu. Enjoy some candy. Look at Ye Qiu twice. I am doing the final inner construction and overcoming obstacles. Ye Qiu noticed her eyes. He also turned around and smiled softly at her. He ruffled her hair. The little evening breeze blew by, but it still couldn't extinguish the enthusiasm in Xiao Wu's heart. Her face was flushed, and her crimson eyes were full of waves. Thinking that Dugu Yan was more than that. He had broken several black threads due to his carelessness. She needs to use some snacks. If she can do it, so can I. Swallow the last bit of sweetness. Ye Qiu had already taken her back to the hotel room. The night is sultry, with the shameful moon half hidden in the clouds. In the room, Ye Qiu was half lying on the bed, with his eyes closed, thinking of something beautiful, and looking a little ecstatic. Xiao Wu knelt down and sat next to him, burying her head in Ye Qiu's arms. She lowered her head and dozed off, like a student in class fishing, unable to steady her head. Half an hour passed. Suddenly the wind blew under the night. The window in the room was not closed tightly, and the cold air rushed in. A little cool breeze blew. Ye Qiu clenched his fists and shook his head. The hairs on his body stood on end and every cell seemed to stretch. Ye Qiu couldn't help but tremble because he felt cold. Xiao Wu, who was dozing off, was also frightened by him. His eyes suddenly opened, his head sank, and he stopped dozing off. Be aware of your current state. Xiao Wu raised her eyes and blinked at Ye Qiu shyly, cleaning up the saliva that accidentally spilled while dozing off, and then raised her head. The embarrassment on his face did not diminish. Ye Qiu breathed a long sigh of relief and felt much lighter. He gently rubbed her hair. He chuckled and said, "Are you tired? Why don't you go clean up and rest?" Xiao Wu blushed, pursed her thin lips, and shook her head. He took the cup of yogurt beside the bed and drank it in one gulp to refresh himself. After swallowing, he smiled shyly at Ye Qiu, hugged Ye Qiu and squeezed into his arms. Nuonyo said, "Sister Xiao Wu, we'll go later." Ye Qiu also shook his head and laughed. It seems that some people are just gifted. Different people have different feelings when they do something for the first time. Okay, since you're sleepy, let's go to bed early. We have to report to Shrek tomorrow. Ye Qiu chuckled and kissed her forehead gently. Yeah, I'll listen to you. Xiao Wu nodded lightly, blushed and packed up Ye Qiu's clothes, then climbed out of bed and washed up. As soon as Xiao Wu left, Ye Qiu bared his teeth. The blue silver emperor branches and leaves around the waist are not polite at all. The tightening just now was getting tighter and tighter, leaving marks on his waist. Ye Qiu, you little bastard. You're a dirty and shameless person. I won't let you go. Yin's curses continued incessantly. Most of the ruddy face comes from anger, but most of the rosiness on the body is due to shame. She really wouldn't see anything with her eyes closed, but the exchange of memories between the two was irresistible. Even she could feel the relief in Ye Qiu's heart. My heart, which had not been stable for a long time, became restless. I was so angry that I was shaking all over, sweating and watering. Soon, without waiting for Ye Qiu to reply to her, Xiao Wu had already thrown herself into Ye Qiu's arms. Ye Qiu fell along with her, lying on his chest. The two of them rubbed their cheeks against each other. Ye Qiu, do you have any other punishment? The soft voice seemed a bit difficult to speak. Huh? What do you mean? Ye Qiu looked at her strangely. Could it be that she wasn't full yet? But she had never had the habit of eating late-night snacks before. That's it. Sister Xiaowu. I don't really want to play with the rest while others play. Xiao Wu finished speaking. He buried his head in Ye Qiu's arms, not daring to move any more. How could she say such a thing? Yin was extremely shocked. Didn't Ye Qiu do enough? Ye Qiu also looked strange and glanced at himself. According to Xiao Wu, will I have to be chopped alive? Or cut it? It seems there is more. It's best if it's cut. You bastard, dirty and shameless person. Dirty people. You. Ye Qiu rolled his eyes. There was no time to pay attention to Yin's curse. Directly untie the blue silver emperor branches and leaves wrapped around his waist. After Yin noticed it, he immediately took it back quietly. She needed to digest this shock. Ye Qiu exhaled a breath and pulled the quilt over, hugged Xiao Wu. The two exchanged positions. Ye Qiu buried his head in her arms, smelling the fragrance, said softly. Don't think so much, you still can't grasp it now. We have a long way to go. Well, Sister Xiaowu knows. Xiao Wu nodded slightly, blushing. He hugged Ye Qiu's head and patted it gently. The heat hitting my body, make her very comfortable. The sun rises in the east. Early the next morning, there is Tang San who acts as an alarm clock, relaxing before going to bed and holding his sister in his arms made Ye Qiu sleep very comfortably. Xiao Wu, who had already washed herself, suddenly rushed over. Lying on your side next to him, her moist and well-proportioned snow-white jade legs leaned gently against her waist, and her entire delicate body pressed against him. The big crimson eyes are smiling and charming, misty and full of spring. Jiao Qiao said, Ye Qiu, Sister Xiaowu wants to eat candy. Say it. Then the red lips parted slightly, waiting to be fed. The physical touch made Ye Qiu feel a little distracted. He rolled his eyes at her helplessly. Don't you know that morning is the time when Yang Qi is first born? If Tang San wasn't waiting outside, I wouldn't punish you again. He breathed a sigh of relief. Take out a carrot-flavored one from the soul guide. Make her content. Soon, the three of them left the room and walked outside Soto City. After leaving Soto City, we followed the road south. There were large tracts of farmland on both sides of the official road. However, apart from the large farmland, there are no decent buildings as far as the eye can see. Even though Ye Qiu was mentally prepared, he couldn't help but ask questions. Xiao San, do you know how far it is? Tang San shook his head. I don't know the details. Let's continue heading south. The teacher won't lie to us. Ah, but Sister Xiaowu is already very tired. Xiao Wu made a plaintive sound. He grabbed Ye Qiu's arm and swung it around, his eyes full of hope. Ye Qiu, how about you carry me on your back? Ye Qiu rolled his eyes. I knew it. Let's walk by ourselves for a while first. We won't talk about it until you can't walk anymore. Oh. Xiao Wu responded with a disappointed voice and followed Ye Qiu obediently. At this time Tang San wanted to shout, if he doesn't carry me, I will carry him. But he also knew it was unrealistic. Xiao Wu was actually not tired at all. She just wanted Ye Qiu to carry her. On the road, Ye Qiu opened his eyes of insight, detect surrounding locations. Finally, traces of Tang Hao were discovered. I don't know where he has been without Yin and looking after his mistress. I wish you all a happy life. Chapter 83 Sweet and Sour. Xiao Wu mistakenly identifies the Soul King. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hear Ning Rongrong's voice. The smile on Ye Qiu's face was a bit teasing. He knows, Ning Rongrong was setting up a persona for herself, a persona of a good girl, pretending to be pretty decent. Xiao Wu tilted her head and looked at Ye Qiu with her mouth pouted. Shouldn't Ye Qiu hate her? Could it be that he likes girls talking like this? Do you want to learn it yourself? The surprise on Li Yusong's face gradually subsided and he frowned. Does your family know that you are here? Ning Rongrong did not answer his question directly, but just smiled and said, they say there is no distinction between education and distinction. As long as I meet the requirements of the college, you have no reason not to accept me. Li Yusong hesitated for a moment. He waved to Dai Mubai and said, take her in. I understand, Teacher Li. The wolfish light in Dai Mubai's eyes quickly disappeared. He regained his cold expression and led Ning Rongrong towards the academy. Just a few steps away, Ning Rongrong frowned lightly and looked at Ye Qiu and the others. When he saw the joking smile on Ye Qiu's face, he immediately gritted his teeth. The face is still a little rosy. This bastard must have heard the sound he made just now. Xiao Wu blocked half of her body in front of Ye Qiu. Whispering sound. Ning Rongrong snorted proudly, raised her hand to scratch her neck, curled her lips, and turned away. Ye Qiu shook his head and laughed. She will feel better once she enters Shrek. After all, Flanders has the Shang Fang sword given to her by her father. That's when it's your chance, a good time to coax her into a fit. Watching Ye Qiu watching Ning Rongrong leave, with an inexplicable smile on her face, Xiao Wu pursed her lips and pulled him twice. Ye Qiu, you don't really have thoughts about her, do you? Ye Qiu raised his eyebrows. It was also time to give Xiao Wu a vaccination first. He gently held Xiao Wu in his arms, biting his ears, whispering. She is one of my soul skill targets. Xiao Wu's face was blood red and her ears were red. After listening to Ye Qiu's explanation, Xiao Wu bit her red lips in grievance, her big crimson eyes blinking mist-filled. Yes, Sister Xiaowu knows. He pursed his lips and responded softly. He turned his head and buried himself in Ye Qiu's arms, shook his head, and left his tears on Ye Qiu's clothes. My heart is extremely sour. Ye Qiu hugged her gently and rubbed her hair. Tang San behind him, watching this scene quietly, he frowned, not knowing what to say. Although he said that he treated Xiao Wu as his younger sister, he couldn't talk too much about this kind of thing. Soon, the remaining students passed Li Yusong's first round of testing. Ye Qiu also stood in front of the table with Xiao Wu. At this time, Dai Mubai had returned behind Li Yusong after sending off several applicants. He looked at Xiao Wu, who was a little fragile and had red eyes, weird eyes. Xiao Wu glared at him fiercely, but suddenly discovered. Dai Mubai's eyes changed. He stared straight in the direction behind him and Ye Qiu, as if he had seen something incredible. Ye Qiu also discovered something unusual about him. His heart moved, and he subconsciously turned around to look. It was just as he thought. Behind Tang San, there was only one candidate left. It was Zhu Zhuqing. It seems that he just arrived. She looks a little smaller than Xiao Wu, with long black hair hanging around her shoulders. She is about the same height as Ning Rongrong, and her skin is very fair. The extremely plump figure is somewhat inconsistent with her age, and the huge mind is very eye-catching, a standard childlike giant rabbit. Contrary to her fiery figure, the expression on her face is very cold. It is a kind of coldness from the heart, pure coldness. Even if she noticed a few people looking at her, she just lowered her eyes and remained motionless. There was no trace of life in the black eyes, which somewhat conflicted with her originally extremely beautiful face. Hi! Ye Qiu felt a pain in his waist and took a breath. When he turned around to look, he found that Xiao Wu was staring at him fiercely, and his small hands were pinching the soft flesh of Ye Qiu's waist. She bit her red lips. He looked at Ye Qiu with some grievance and fear. It had been a long time since she had hurt Ye Qiu like this. She was afraid that Ye Qiu would be angry, but she was really aggrieved. Ye Qiu is staring at Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu's eyes were about to overflow with tears. Do you want to sign up? If you don't sign up, don't stand in the way. Li Yusong's voice brought Ye Qiu's thoughts back. Ye Qiu also understood that little rabbit felt uncomfortable. This is when jealousy comes to the fore. Put away the pain on his face. He grabbed the catkin she placed on his waist and scratched it gently in her palm. Take a sigh of relief, get some pain relief. Put the 20 gold soul coins that had been prepared into the wooden box. Let's sign up together. Say it. Ye Qiu stretched out his hand first. Although he also learned Xianyu hand, he didn't practice it much, so he passed the test easily. Then it was Xiao Wu. Li Yusong nodded and said, "You are of the right age, let's release your martial arts next." Ye Qiu nodded. He looked at Xiao Wu and activated his soul power at the same time. Blue and red rays of light rose up at the same time, and century-old soul rings hovered upward at the same time. Pink rabbit ears sprouted, a fluffy little tail appeared on the lower back, and the body became more slender. Bump. A dull sound attracted everyone's attention. Ye Qiu's body was suddenly covered by a layer of steel armor, with bright blue stripes outlining a war machine, and a pair of jewel-like eyes shining brightly. The ground beneath his feet collapsed a little because it couldn't bear the weight. What kind of martial spirit is this? Li Yusong, Dai Mubai, and Zhu Zhuqing behind him all looked at Ye Qiu strangely. They have never seen this kind of martial spirit, but very handsome and powerful. 2 yellow soul rings rose. Li Yusong had a satisfied look on his face. An alluring purple light suddenly appeared. Li Yusong's face changed drastically, and he was extremely horrified. Loudly. You are actually soul masters. No. It's the soul sect. You are the soul king. No. How is this possible? Your 4th ring is actually a black 10,000-year soul ring. Li Yusong's eyes widened. The impact of these 2 people on him was getting higher and higher with each wave. The 4th ring of 10,000 years. How is this possible? Tang San was also extremely shocked. Then he remembered that Ye Qiu once said that his 4th soul ring would be unexpected, but the impact this scene gave him was more than unexpected. It's simply a fantasy. Every night he went to see the master. I was alone in the same room with him, studying and working day and night, and was deeply influenced by him. Naturally, he firmly believed in his teacher's theory, but this scene before me. This living example was right in front of him, which made him shaken by the master's theory. Xiao Wu on the side seemed relatively calm. Dai Mubai's eyes widened, and the doubts in his heart disappeared. No wonder Xiao Wudan, who had beaten him violently, succumbed to him. This guy was actually a soul sect too. What's even scarier is, the fourth ring is actually black that only the Soul King can possess. Zhu Zhuqing's eyes were filled with stagnant water, his eyes flickered and his pupils shrank. I couldn't come back to my senses for a long time. He is the same age as himself, but he has already reached the cultivation level of Soul Sect. What kind of monsters are these? Her cultivation level is higher than that of her own sister. How is this done? Ye Qiu smiled faintly and released his martial spirit. He had a panoramic view of the expressions of several people. The expression on Zhu Zhuqing's little face, which he paid special attention to, made him even more satisfied, since he wants to seduce her by teaching her to become stronger. Of course, she must be convinced of her own strength. I wish you all a happy life. Q skirt, 6233511853. Chapter 84. Zhu Zhuqing is interested in herself. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What? Are we not monsters? Ye Qiu held Xiao Wu's hand and said calmly to Li Yusong. Forget it. Count it. Li Yusong finally came to his senses. The little chicken nodded like a chicken pecking at rice. This time, Shrek Academy found a treasure. He said sincerely, you too, especially you, are a real monster. Xiao Wu put away her martial soul possession and snuggled next to Ye Qiu. Xiao Bai, please lead them in first. According to the rules, if their soul power exceeds level 25, they can go directly to the last level. Li Yusong waved towards Dai Mubai. Ye Qiu chuckled, let's wait for a while and go there together. Li Yusong glanced at Tang San and Zhu Zhuqing, the last two registered students behind Ye Qiu. He nodded and said, all right. Ye Qiu smiled slightly. He turned around and said hello to Tang San. Tang San smiled bitterly, praising. Ye Qiu, your fourth ring is really as unexpected as you said. Haha. It's just a fluke, a fluke. Ye Qiu waved his hand. He squeezed Xiao Wu's little hand and stepped aside temporarily. Tang San shook his head and laughed. Treat Ye Qiu's words as modesty. Pick yourself up, push down the doubts in your heart, step forward to pay the fee and stretch out your hand to measure your bone age. Behind him, Zhu Zhuqing raised his eyes. His cold eyes flashed with doubt, staring at Ye Qiu closely. Ye Qiu smiled back. Sure enough, Zhu Zhuqing was interested in him. Xiao Wu was rubbing Ye Qiu's waist, frowning, blocking Ye Qiu behind him, but this did not hinder Zhu Zhuqing's doubtful gaze at all. She was also very interested in Xiao Wu's cultivation. Her direct eyes did so much so that Xiao Wu glared at her angrily. Only then did Zhu Zhuqing give up. Okay. Xiao Wu turned around. He looked at Ye Qiu, who had a serious face. Suspiciously, he pouted his lips unhappily. Just now, Ye Qiu must have been peeking at someone else's giant rabbit. Dai Mubai stood next to them. He raised his eyebrows, didn't care too much. After all, Ye Qiu is accompanied by a woman. Put away your eyes and look forward. Tang San just put his legs down from the table. Li Yusong nodded. Okay, release your martial spirit. Tang San nodded. He raised his palm, and a burst of blue light emerged. The most common blue silver grass grew in Tang San's palm. With the injection of soul power, it quickly transformed into a wrist-thick grass vine, 2 yellow and 1 purple. 3 soul rings slowly unfolded under his feet. Soul Lord. Blue silver grass. Can blue silver grass also cultivate so fast? That with Ye Qiu and Xiao Wu in front of them, they are both precious. Li Yusong didn't react much. It's just a little weird, but Zhu Zhuqing was severely surprised again. Tang San smiled slightly and said, my teacher said that there are no useless martial spirits, only useless spirit masters. Well said. Dai Mubai's eyes lit up. Although these words are second-rate, I somehow feel that these words are very powerful. Looking at Tang San, I also became interested in him. Li Yusong, on the other hand, frowned. He is no longer some hot-blooded young man. I disagree with this. On the mainland, basically everyone has a martial spirit, but some people's awakened martial souls are born without innate soul power. Without innate soul power, it means that you cannot practice. Is it possible that they are all trash? In the world of soul masters, nature determines the day after tomorrow. Very realistic. But he couldn't say much. Looking at Tang San, he nodded meaningfully. Your teacher's words are quite suitable for you. Zhu Zhuqing was about to step forward. He looked stunned. Just now, she also regarded these words as a guideline in her heart, but Li Yusong's words, let her react. He glanced at Tang San. It seems that these words were just words used by his teacher to encourage him. Little did he know that this was what Yu Xiaojiang used to encourage himself. It's just that he doesn't have the ability to achieve it himself. Ye Qiu smiled, caressed and comforted Xiao Wu. Okay, next one. It's almost time for me to call it a day. Li Yusong waved Tang San aside and stretched out his hand to measure Zhu Zhuqing's bone age. Tang San stood by Ye Qiu's side and was not in a hurry to leave. Instead, he looked at Dai Mubai and said, I didn't expect that Senior Dai is actually a student of Shrek Academy. What happened yesterday? Let's forget what happened yesterday. We don't know each other anymore. We will all be classmates from now on. Dai Mubai waved his hand and as he spoke, he couldn't help but look at Zhu Zhuqing. What are you looking at? Do you want to harm other girls again? Xiao Wu curled her lips and said angrily. Xiao Wu did not lower her voice, and Zhu Zhuqing obviously heard her words. He just glanced at Dai Mubai, indifferent. Dai Mubai frowned. A mere freshman dared to speak rudely and was about to get angry, but he immediately remembered the strength of Xiao Wu and others. He said coldly, what do you know? I just feel that the aura on her body is very similar to mine, and there is a sense of complementing each other. Maybe she can form a martial soul fusion skill with me. Dai Mubai didn't want to reveal his identity at this time, but just explained it by saying that the martial souls are fused. Martial spirit fusion skill. Tang San raised his eyebrows. He had naturally understood this term before. To describe it as 1 in a million would not be an exaggeration. Xiao Wu sneered. So, that girl's martial spirit should be that of a tigress. Dai Mubai showed a hint of embarrassment on his face. It's possible that the words fell, then suddenly I felt a hint of coldness. It was Zhu Zhuqing, who gave him a cold look. With a cat cry, 2 yellow soul rings rose up. It turns out to be a little kitten. Xiao Wu looked at the swaying cat and suddenly felt a little shy on her face. It seems that the word small is somewhat inappropriate. He quickly took Ye Qiu's arm and hugged him tightly. Ye Qiu rolled his eyes. I didn't expect Xiao Wu to be so jealous. He reached out and pinched the fleshy cheeks of the little rabbit in his arms. Pinch out a piece of red. Ye Qiu. Xiao Wu pursed her lips and looked at him angrily. Li Yusong said, okay, Xiao Bai, please take a few of them in. Yes. Dai Mubai responded. Under the leadership of Dai Mubai, Ye Qiu and others entered Shrek Academy with him. That is the village. Xiao Wu hugged Ye Qiu's arm and pushed him to the side, asked him to stay away from Zhu Zhuqing. Looking at this scene, Tang San couldn't help but smile. Xiao Wu is so kawaii. Enter the village. All that can be seen are wooden buildings. The architecture here can best be described as simple and plain. Not far to go. Dai Mubai led them to an open space, surrounded by wooden houses. This open space is about 500 square meters. Right in the center of Shrek Academy, the candidates who had passed the preliminary examination were in front, and the obvious fluctuations in soul power made the air tremble irregularly. Ye Qiu saw the pure white Ning Rongrong in the crowd at a glance. I wish you all a happy life. Chapter 85. Should I punish you again? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao Wu pouted. It's not easy to stop either. Dai Mubai and the others stood out a bit as soon as they came over. Ning Rongrong naturally noticed Ye Qiu's figure, and her delicate face suddenly wrinkled, staring at Ye Qiu fiercely. Make people laugh. Tang San, you guys wait here for a while. I'll talk to the teacher. As for you, you can go queue up first. Just come all the way. Dai Mubai was already roughly familiar with Tang San. As for his last words, he said them to Zhu Zhuqing. He didn't know if Zhu Zhuqing had level 25, only. After Dai Mubai left, Zhu Zhuqing made no move at all. At this moment, a soft voice sounded. Selling sausages, selling sausages. Look, 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 Oscar brand sausage, delicious and sweet. 5 copper coins each, cheap and affordable. Do not miss passing through. Ye Qiu looked sideways. I saw it not far away. An old man with a big beard was pushing a cart and selling food there. The aroma of meat came out from the car. It has been pushed in front of Ye Qiu and others. Xiao Wu, Ye Qiu, do you want one? Tang San smelled the meat and became a little greedy. No need. Ye Qiu shook his head. He didn't want to eat it unless necessary. Xiao Wu naturally followed Ye Qiu, and she is in a bad mood now and has no appetite at all. Aware of Tang San's gaze, Zhu Zhuqing shook his head slightly. Just a moment, Tang San had already bought 2 and started to enjoy them. Ye Qiu, this monster academy really deserves its name. How can a 14-year-old be so anxious? Xiao Wu looked at Oscar, who was still hawking, and couldn't help complaining. Haha. Ye Qiu chuckled. He leaned close to her ear and whispered, there are even weirder things in this academy. Okay. Xiao Wu's face was red and her body was a little delicate. He looked at Ye Qiu in confusion. He seemed to know the academy very well. Ye Qiu didn't explain. He was also curious. I don't know how old Ma Hongjun, who was burned by evil fire, started hanging around the chicken coop. When Tang San was enjoying his meal, Dai Mubai's voice came immediately, with anger. Oscar! How dare you sell your sausages here? You are seeking death. Dai Mubai took a quick step, grabbed Oscar's big beard, and clamped his neck under his armpits. Boss Dai, please spare your life. Oscar immediately let out a soft cry. Dai Mubai frowned when he heard this female voice. Looking in the direction of Zhu Zhuqing, he asked him, you didn't feed them, did you? There was a hint of danger in his tone. No. None of them want it, only that little brother bought it and ate it. Oscar turned purple. Dai Mubai was so choked that he couldn't breathe. Brother Dai, what's wrong? Tang San chewed the sausage and looked at the two of them doubtfully. He couldn't help but praise. This senior's big sausage is quite delicious, isn't it? Tang San. You. Dai Mubai looked at the half sausage and a few bamboo sticks left in his hand. There was a little surprise on his face, then he showed some bad taste. Ye Qiu, what's wrong with his sausage? Xiao Wu next to him asked strangely. We'll find out later. Ye Qiu looked at them teasingly. Dai Mubai smiled strangely and let Oscar go. He grabbed his shoulders and said, Xiao Ao. Hurry up and share with Tang San the process of making your big sausage. Ah. Oscar's face covered by hair showed a look of embarrassment. Boss Dai, this is unnecessary. At worst, I will refund the money to this junior. Dai Mubai grabbed his shoulders and made a crunching sound, threatening, don't force me to do it. No, I said it's not okay. Forced by Dai Mubai's lustful power, Oscar had no choice but to stretch out his left hand. With his somewhat obscene voice, he softly shouted out his soul curse. I have a big sausage. As his words fell, a big, fragrant sausage immediately appeared in his hand. The difference from Tang San's hand is that it hasn't been roasted yet and there is one bamboo skewer missing. Tang San, who was pure, after hearing his soul curse, his face immediately darkened. Obviously he was thinking of something bad. The remaining sausage in his hand fell to the ground, and his stomach suddenly felt queasy, looking at Oscar in his eyes, showing some anger. Okay, you kid, get out of here. You'd better not let me find you selling your sausages in the academy again. Noticed Tang San's dark face. Dai Mubai sent Oscar away in time. Ha Tang San. It's okay, he is a food-type soul master, it's just that this soul curse is a bit weird. Haha. Dai Mubai said it was okay, but the teasing expression on his face and his wild laughter spoke volumes. Zhu Zhuqing watched this scene with cold eyes, and moved slightly, farther away from Tang San and the others. Nausea. Xiao Wu cursed secretly and squeezed into Ye Qiu's arms. Suddenly he noticed Ye Qiu's teasing eyes. His face suddenly became hot, blushing, head buried in silence. You pinched me before, do you have to be punished? Ye Qiu said with a low smile. No, Sister Xiaowu. It was clearly your fault just now. In Ye Qiu's arms, came her shy voice, angrily. After laughing, Tang San's mood was finally calmed down. Hugging Tang San's shoulders, Dai Mubai said seriously, okay, I have made arrangements, and I can take you directly to the 4th level. Say it. Dai Mubai was about to leave with Ye Qiu and others. Wait, teacher. Why don't they get tested? Dai Mubai laughed loudly just now. It has attracted the attention of students who are still queuing up. They were all geniuses who reached level 20 before they were 13 years old. You can just leave when you see them. Immediately there was a cry of protest. Okay, Be quiet, that the test teacher over there threw a milky white crystal ball over, he ordered. Mubai, please explain. Oh, it's really troublesome. Dai Mubai took the crystal ball and handed it to Tang San, indicated to him to conduct a soul power test, then he shouted to the students lining up. Open your eyes and watch carefully. If your soul power can reach level 25, then you can also skip the intermediate steps and directly enter the 4th level. As Dai Mubai finished speaking, Tang San also injected soul power into the crystal ball. The crystal ball suddenly became as bright as a diamond, filling it with dazzling brilliance. The upper limit of testing for this crystal ball is level 30. Soul Lord! How is that possible? The students exclaimed in disbelief. Nothing is impossible. Just because you can't do it, it doesn't mean that others can't do it. Let me reiterate, our Shrek Academy only accepts monsters. Dai Mubai dismissed them. As he spoke, he took the crystal ball from Tang San's hand, throw it into Xiao Wu's hands. Ahem. What's that? Just take it easy and don't input too much soul power. Dai Mubai knew that his dean was a miser. If he broke it, he might be ripped off. Sister Xiaowu, I know. Xiao Wu snorted coldly and slowly injected soul power. That dazzling light was even more dazzling than Tang San's. Another soul lord. Where did these monsters come from? When the students lining up were noisy, a girl in a white dress suddenly rushed out like a dancing butterfly, cut off the crystal ball that Xiao Wu handed to Ye Qiu. At the same time, a soft voice sounded. In this case, I can go directly to the 4th level. Hey! You woman! Xiao Wu looked at her angrily, but thinking that she was Ye Qiu's target, they stopped. Ye Qiu gently squeezed Xiao Wu's catkin, counted as consolation. Liar! Ning Rongrong glared at Ye Qiu. To maintain her character, she did not cause trouble. The crystal ball glowed dazzlingly in her hand, but it was much worse than Tang San's. Level 26. It's indeed possible. The test teacher nodded. Before Ning Rongrong could react, the crystal ball in his hand was snatched away by Zhu Zhuqing. Ning Rongrong only felt something, which blinded her eyes, and she stared blankly at the hot spot. Then, bright white light shined again. The light was a bit stronger than when Ning Rongrong injected soul power, which was exactly the level of 27th level soul power. Dai Mubai gave Zhu Zhuqing a complicated look with his evil eyes. Test completed. Zhu Zhuqing threw the crystal ball in his hand towards Ye Qiu, snapped. Ye Qiu held it firmly in his hand, slowly inject soul power. The white light quickly filled the entire crystal ball. Surprise flashed in Ning Rongrong's eyes. Unexpectedly, this dead liar turned out to be a soul master. I wish you all a happy life. Chapter 86. I rely on my ability to earn a living. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It's Soul Lord again. The same full white light shines again. After completely blocking the mouths of the other candidates, the eyes of Ye Qiu and the others suddenly became weird. He reached Soul Master at the age of 12. Is this a level that humans can achieve? Humph. Just because you can't do it, doesn't mean others can't do it. Dai Mubai snorted coldly and repeated the sentence again. Then he took the crystal ball back from Ye Qiu's hand. Simultaneously, he himself felt a little ashamed. It is undeniable, he couldn't do it even with the 12-year-old Soul Master, let alone the Soul Sect. He looked at Ye Qiu and others with the same strange look. Throw the crystal ball back. The teacher in charge of the test had a playful smile on his face. TSK. I didn't expect to recruit so many good candidates this year. It seems that I am expected to get a salary increase. Okay, Mubai. Take them to the 4th level. Yes, didn't think much about it. Dai Mubai responded respectfully and led a few people deeper into the academy. Now, no students have raised any objections. Strength has proven everything. Among the 5, only Tang San had a good relationship with Dai Mubai. The two of them walked side by side. Tang San was inquiring about some information about Shrek. The purpose of Shrek Academy is to recruit monster soul masters. We only accept talented people, not trash. If you do not reach the soul sect before the age of 20, you will not be able to graduate. In the past 20 years, a total of 62 students have been admitted and 14 have graduated. Those who graduate have become world-renowned figures. The most outstanding ones even serve in the Wuhuan Palace, and their status is only lower than that of the Pope. Tang San heard this, he clenched his fists and his eyes were shining. The master really didn't lie to him. He came to the right place. The person who was amazed by Zhu Zhuqing was Ning Rongrong, who was secretly observing Zhu Zhuqing's big European faction. When he heard Dai Mubai's introduction again, he suddenly frowned. Rack your brains, he didn't know who Dai Mubai was talking about. Logically speaking, this is so awesome, she has been influenced by her ears and eyes since she was a child, so she should have heard of such a famous person. Out of the corner of my eye, suddenly, he noticed a hint of amusement on Ye Qiu's face. He immediately snorted in displeasure. Zhu Zhuqing's face was a little rosy, and Ning Rongrong's sight just now made her very uncomfortable. He turned to look at her strangely. Xiao Wu's eyes were a bit dangerous, the way a palace official would look at a vixen. She must have made the noise on purpose. Want to seduce Ye Qiu? Xiao Wu was determined. Ye Qiu heard Xiao Wu's cold snort through her. He glanced at her casually. He said calmly, Ning Rongrong, you lied to me. Ning Rongrong was stunned for a moment. I couldn't think of any time when I had deceived him. Looking at Ye Qiu's serious look, silver teeth bite. That's nonsense. It's obviously you who lied to me. Don't even think about confusing right and wrong. Ye Qiu sneered. I didn't say anything nonsense. Didn't you tell me that you are not a soul master? Why now? Ning Rongrong's expression changed slightly, as if this was indeed the case, but this is nothing compared to Ye Qiu playing tricks on himself. He shouted, it's none of your business. I'm warning you, I have already started to calculate interest for you, you'd better pay back the money early. Otherwise not finished yet. Ning Rongrong noticed Xiao Wu's resentful eyes, being stared at by her made him a little panicked. He curled his lips and said, what are you looking at? You are his woman, do you want to pay it back on his behalf? I don't have that much money on me. The woman known as Ye Qiu, Xiao Wu was ashamed and happy. There is no soul master subsidy. She relied on Ye Qiu to support her. He withdrew his hostile gaze and looked at Ye Qiu. The eyes show the intention of asking for instructions. Ye Qiu looked at Xiao Wu and shook his head. He smiled and said, if you don't pay it back, I rely on my ability to make a living. Why should I pay it back? Xiao Wu nodded obediently. His eyes flashed. Then he turned his head and recounted to Ning Rongrong. Ye Qiu said he wouldn't pay it back. Zhu Zhuqing looked at Xiao Wu with a strange expression. The corners of his mouth were slightly raised. I heard. Ning Rongrong's face turned ugly. It's so close, do I need to repeat it? Who cares about that guy? He gave Ye Qiu a hateful look, cursed. You are so shameless. Ye Qiu sneered and bared his teeth at her. He can be sure, if Ning Rongrong deceived her, she would definitely not pay it back. Therefore, he felt at ease not to pay it back. The sun shines on Ye Qiu's 2 rows of white teeth, shining brightly, stimulating those smart blue eyes. Ning Rongrong's face turned red in anger. Xiao Wu angrily poked Ye Qiu's waist lightly. Dai Mubai and the other 2 were walking in front. Although I am willing to join in this friendly exchange. But it's hard to stop and look back. Tang San couldn't help but ask. Senior Dai, what is this 4th level test? Dai Mubai said. The 4th level is a test of actual combat experience. Some students' own martial arts masters have said that those who are pampered will not be accepted. Speaking of which, Dai Mubai looked troubled. In the past, he was responsible for the 4th level, but this time it's different. There were 2 soul sects, but he couldn't hold any of them. I sighed inwardly. You can only go to the location first and ask the teacher. Everyone was silent for a while. Soon, Dai Mubai was the first to stop. Okay, we're here. At this time, Ye Qiu and others have arrived at an open space. About 200 square meters, there is a rocking chair in the middle, and a middle-aged man of about 50 years old is lying on it, taking a rest. Ye Qiu recognized him. Tonight, the feudal-Ming King Zhao Wuji will be brutalized by Tang Dachui, the deputy dean of Shrek Academy and the current second-in-command. Dai Mubai said softly, Teacher Zhao, I have brought someone to conduct the 4th level assessment. Okay. Zhao Wuji opened his hazy sleepy eyes. They looked at the 5 young men and women in front of them with some surprise, as if they had encountered something incredible. A rough voice buzzed in people's ears, and they asked in great surprise, has anyone come to the 4th level this year? There are actually 5 more. To know, their Shrek Academy has not recruited new students for 2 years. Yes, and they are all exempted from the second and third tests. Dai Mubai said with a smile, but he didn't explain much. He also wanted to see Xiao Wuji's shocked expression later. Xiao Wuji heard this, his eyes lit up, and he felt a little happy to see Hunter Xian. Get up from your chair. He is not tall and has an ordinary appearance, but it looks extremely solid. His height, which was slightly shorter than the 12-year-old Tang San, actually gave people a majestic feeling. His broad shoulders were like city walls, and his coat couldn't hide his majestic muscles that looked like they were made of steel. Although the expression on his face is kind, his strong figure can invisibly give people a strong sense of oppression. All 5 are above level 25. Not bad, not bad. It seems there are a lot of little monsters this year. Xiao Wuji smiled, his eyes swept over Ye Qiu and the others one by one. Looking at the 5 people gently, he said happily, "This is the last level for me. If you pass my test, you can officially become a member of Shrek Academy. My name is Xiao Wuji. Since you all passed the second and third levels without taking the test, I will accompany you personally to play. Now you have a stick of incense to get to know each other and discuss it. After the stick of incense, the test begins. The content of the test is for the 4 of you to work together to resist my attack for a stick of incense. As long as one of you can persevere in the end, you will pass. That I wish you all a happy life." Chapter 87, Pulling Ye Qiu to Challenge the Soul Saint. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hear what Xiao Wuji said. Dai Mubai immediately breathed a sigh of relief. His injuries were not healed in the first place. Besides, there are ruthless people like Ye Qiu and Xiao Wu in the team. Although I am happy, I am also a little worried. Teacher Xiao, you have to take it easy. Xiao Wuji glared at him and said, "Humph. Do I look like that person who has no sense of proportion?" Forehead. Dai Mubai was stunned for a moment. In his mind, Xiao Wuji is the kind of person who even has muscles in his brain. Don't worry, I'm going to light some incense. You don't have much time, so hurry up and get ready. Xiao Wuji waved his hand. After he finished speaking, he took out a stick of incense from nowhere. Put your finger on the incense head. I lit the incense directly, and in a snap of my fingers, the incense was inserted into the ground without any trembling. Finish these. Xiao Wuji sat back on his chair, and before closing his eyes, he did not forget to tell Dai Mubai. Xiao Bai, you can also tell them my strength and characteristics so that they can be prepared. Subsequently, there was no sound. Ye Qiu looked indifferent. Tang San and the others didn't have any special feelings because of the testing method proposed by Xiao Wuji. Instead, it was Dai Mubai next to him. A solemn look on his face, he said to the others, "You guys, please don't take it lightly. Teacher Xiao is not easy to deal with." Tang San smiled and said, "Isn't this Teacher Xiao the same as the teacher at the door, a strong Soul Emperor level?" In Tang San's heart, if it is only the Soul Emperor level, with Ye Qiu and Xiao Wu here, it's not too difficult to hold on to a stick of incense. Dai Mubai shook his head and said, "No." Xiao Wu looked happy. "Then what are you afraid of? Just leave it to Sister Xiaowu and Ye Qiu to deal with it. Not to mention a stick of incense, maybe you can give him a beating." Ah! Ye Qiu. Xiaowu's delicate body trembled. He grabbed Ye Qiu's bad hand that slapped his butt. He blushed and looked puzzled. Get a pair of blank eyes. Ye Qiu didn't expect that this little rabbit was so brave that he would drag him to challenge the Soul Saint. Did Sister Xiaowu say something wrong? Xiaowu held Ye Qiu's palm in her hands and asked in confusion. Big mistake. Dai Mubai glanced at her, as if he was looking at an idiot. Tang San asked, "How to say?" Dai Mubai said, "Teacher Xiao is more than just a Soul Emperor. He is level 76, a beast martial soul, and a fighting Soul Saint. He is the vice president of the college, and his overall strength is second only to our dean." The pupils of Tang San and others shrank almost at the same time. 76th level Soul Saint. In their impression, even in the face of an army of 10,000 people, a Soul Master at the Soul Saint level can maneuver freely. How could they be able to deal with it? Shocked, he couldn't help but look strangely at Xiao Wu, who had just uttered arrogant words. Xiao Wu blushed in embarrassment. He shrank half of his body and went behind Ye Qiu, watching Ye Qiu's eyes dodge. No wonder he wanted to spank himself just now. It really should be fought. Ning Rongrong grinned and teased. Tang San looked at Ye Qiu a little strangely, he seemed to have known it for a long time. Dai Mubai glanced at the incense stick on the ground, he said calmly, we don't have much time, so I will simply tell you what Teacher Xiao is good at. Then don't think that you can stop Teacher Xiao on your own. Coordination and cooperation are your only chance of success. Speaking of it, Dai Mubai took another special look at Xiao Wu, he smiled and said, otherwise, let alone a stick of incense, it will be good if you can withstand his first wave of attacks. TCH, who are you looking down on? Sister Xiaowu can resist any of his moves head-on. Xiao Wu curled her lips, as if to defend herself. Ning Rongrong, Zhu Zhuqing and others had unclear emotions in their eyes, revealing some sympathy and care. This time, Ye Qiu did not take action again, just smiled. Xiao Wu, this is the truth, her fourth soul skill is the invincible golden body, use it yourself now, those below the god level are just 3-second real men, the kind who are unreasonable. Ye Qiu smiled, Xiao Wu also laughed and hugged Ye Qiu tighter. Ye Qiu is also looking forward to it, after merging with Xiao Wu, how far can he push Xiao Wuji? Seeing Ye Qiu, there was no reaction. Ning Rongrong and others stopped looking at Xiao Wu, his face became serious, facing a 76th level soul saint level expert is no joke. Tang San knew it, just one soul saint created the legend of Holy Soul Village, it is enough to see the influence, status and strength of soul saint. Dai Mubai touched his nose and said with a bitter smile. Originally, Teacher Xiao is only responsible for invigilating the exam. Your opponent should be me. As long as you can hold on to my hand for as long as a stick of incense, you will pass. But this time, I'm definitely not qualified. Dai Mubai looked miserable, there was nothing bad to say. When Xiao Wu and Xiao Wu activate their martial spirits, they will know everything clearly. Tang San nodded slightly, after all, he had personally watched Xiao Wu violently abuse Dai Mubai. I almost lost a complete set of 8 pieces. Zhu Zhuqing's eyes were cold and he raised his eyes to glance at Dai Mubai. Ning Rongrong only thought that Dai Mubai was not strong enough. There was some contempt deep in his eyes. Cough cough. Look at Xiao Wu's proud look. Dai Mubai's expression changed, he coughed twice, and began to introduce Xiao Wuji to them. Teacher Xiao, nicknamed Fudo Mingwang. His martial soul is the powerful Vajra Bear. Defense and strength are his strengths. Although he is not good at speed, the gap between your soul power and his is too big. He still has a big advantage. Simply put, when the difference in soul power is huge, high-level soul masters to low-level soul masters, it can be described in 4 words, it is called impeccable. Ning Rongrong realized it later, and a look of surprise flashed in his eyes. Unexpectedly, Zhao Wuji, the Fudo Ming king who was hunted down by Wuhuan Palace in his early years and disappeared for more than 10 years, would actually come to this academy to teach and educate people. What a surprise, but Ye Qiu was as calm as ever, not to mention that Tang San is here. Ye Qiu himself also wanted to test the combined combat effectiveness and whether the dragon beard needle was really that useful. A soul saint who can be beaten casually without risking his life, this is rare. After Dai Mubai finished the introduction, he cleared his throat. Now, you all need to get to know each other first, state your names and martial arts spirits, and see how you can cooperate to best withstand Teacher Zhao's exam. Tang San nodded and was the first to speak, saying, My name is Tang San, I am a weapon spirit named Blue Silver Grass, and I am a level 32 control-type fighting spirit master. Ning Rongrong hesitated and glanced proudly at Ye Qiu, who had been silent. Ning Rongrong, 7 treasure glazed tile pagoda of martial spirits, level 26 auxiliary great soul master. Zhu Zhuqing said indifferently, Zhu Zhuqing, the beast martial spirit nether civet cat, the 27th level agility attack type great soul master. Ye Qiu said calmly, Ye Qiu, the weapon spirit 10,000 phase armor, the 43rd level assault type fighting spirit sect. You. Soul sect. Ning Rongrong looked at Ye Qiu with surprise. What? No? Ye Qiu raised his eyebrows with a playful expression. Xiao Wu saw Ye Qiu talking and stepped forward to block half of Ye Qiu's body, said, Xiao Wu, the beast martial spirit soft bone rabbit, a level 46 attack-type fighting spirit sect. Ning Rongrong's face was filled with disbelief. Level 46. Are you two kidding me? Dai Mubai smiled and said, well, they're not joking. Ning Rongrong was stunned, looking around. I saw no one questioning it. I had to accept this fact, but his eyes never left Ye Qiu and the two. This is definitely a living monster. I wish you all a happy life. Q skirt, 6233518853. Chapter 88 Martial Soul Fusion Technique Ye Wu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ning Rongrong was still staring closely at Xiao Wu and Ye Qiu. I sighed in my heart that I was not human. The eyes of Tang San and others were attracted by Ning Rongrong. They had seen both Ye Qiu's soul rings, not surprised. It was Ning Rongrong's martial spirit. They couldn't help but be surprised. Tang San looked at her in surprise and said, I didn't expect you to be from the 7 Treasure Glazed Tiles sect. He didn't forget my own teacher's evaluation of the Qibao Glazed Pagoda as a weapon, that is to say, Pan-Continent, the most powerful auxiliary martial spirit, a soul master who possesses it. It is also the best partner of all combat-type soul masters, being watched by everyone. Ning Rongrong was filled with pride and elation, but he stuck out his little tongue cutely and said modestly, don't look at me like this. In fact, I am no different from ordinary people. I am only a 2-level soul master now. I can only increase everyone's speed and strength attributes by 30%. His Tang San took a breath and exclaimed, with your current cultivation level, a 30% increase is already very good. Ning Rongrong smiled softly and waved her hands shyly. He signaled to Tang San not to make a fuss. His green eyes reflected Ye Qiu's unconcerned and calm look. I felt cold and unhappy in my heart, however, given Dai Mubai's status as a disciple of the Qibao Glazed sect. He was not very surprised. Dai Mubai smiled and said, in this case, the combination of the two of you is very good. Basically, all types are complete. Next, you can decide for yourself how to resist Teacher Zhao's attack. Several people looked at each other, looking at Tang San deep in thought. Ye Qiu rolled his eyes. The types of soul masters are limited, and their respective tasks are already clear when starting a group. Ye Qiu said without thinking, Ning Rongrong will assist, Xiao Wu and I will be the main attackers. Xiao San, you will be responsible for limiting the opponent and assisting our attacks, and Zhu Zhuqing will be responsible for interference and containment from the flanks. Tang San was stunned for a moment and nodded silently. There was some surprise in his eyes. Unexpectedly, Ye Qiu's thoughts coincided with his own. In the limited time, he could only come up with this simple tactic, and the effect could only be tested in actual combat. Xiao Wu was naturally obedient to Ye Qiu. Ning Rongrong snorted coldly and reluctantly agreed. Zhu Zhuqing remained calm, nodded slightly, and agreed to Ye Qiu's suggestion. They just discussed it. Stand still. Ye Qiu and Xiao Wu held hands and stood at the front. Then came Tang San and Ning Rongrong. Zhu Zhuqing stood on the flank. The formation is simple. Zhao Wuji's loud voice came. Have you discussed it yet? Dai Mubai turned around and saw that the incense on the ground was about to burn out. Take a few steps back. He nodded towards Zhao Wuji, said, Teacher Zhao, you can start. It is good. Zhao Wuji stood up again. When he moved his body, the series of bones made an explosive sound, adding a bit of pressure. I took out the incense, twisted it with my rough hands, and lit it. At the same time, Xiao Wu and Ye Qiu activated their martial spirits at the same time. Xiao Wu's martial spirit possessed him, and 4 yellow, purple and purple spirit rings spun around his feet. Ye Qiu's whole body was emitting blue light. The feet are yellow, purple, and black, and the 4 soul rings are eye-catching. Hun sect. Zhao Wuji, who had just lit the incense, suddenly widened his eyes and rubbed them in disbelief. And there is a 10,000-year soul ring? What the hell is this? Zhao Wuji looked at Ye Qiu in shock. I couldn't come back to my senses for a long time. Ning Rongrong also widened her eyes. Her green eyes trembled. She never imagined that a 10,000-year soul ring would actually appear on a soul sect. Looking at the two people holding hands, Ning Rongrong wondered, what are they going to do? Tang San chuckled and said, Martial Spirit Fusion Technique. What? Ning Rongrong's pupils contracted. Zhu Zhuqing also opened his mouth slightly, but he didn't expect Xiao Wu and the others to have such a move. They actually have martial soul fusion skills. Dai Mubai, who was not far away, looked at this scene in shock. The autumn leaves turned into blue light spots, submerged into Xiao Wu's body, his soul ring overlapped with Xiao Wu's soul ring. Xiao Wu smiled, looking at the tightly fitting steel armor, it clung to her delicate body and slowly covered her. I really enjoyed the feeling of being wrapped by Ye Qiu, this made her happy. Be serious. Yeah, Sister Xiaowu is very serious. Ye Qiu rolled his eyes in his heart. At this time, Xiaowu became much taller again. The delicate body was completely covered by the all-purpose armor, with a scorpion tail flowing on the back of the head. Standing in front of Tang San and others, it was already an icy war machine. Under the sunlight, cold light burst out, with spikes on its fists, knees, and joints. The soul power of the two people blended together, and the aura on their bodies already surpassed the Soul King. It made Tang San feel a little frightened. Ning Rongrong, you are so stupid. Eyes like agate and gemstones shine with light. Ye Qiu's mechanical voice came. Ning Rongrong blushed. You bastard, what are you so proud of? That although I was very unhappy, I could still distinguish the serious from the serious, not slow in action. The 7 treasures turned out to be Liuli. Ning Rongrong held her hands in vain, and her clear voice sounded like the cry of an oriole. Dazzling 7-color light was released, and a 7-color pagoda more than a foot high appeared in the palm of his hand. The precious light twinkles and is priceless. Under the background of colored light, Ning Rongrong looked as if she were a fairy. 2 circles of yellow soul rings rose from her feet and silently circled around her body. Without any pause, the 2 soul rings under his feet flashed at the same time. The 7 treasures have names. One is power. Second, hurry. That with Ning Rongrong's current level of distracted control, can only assist 3 people at the same time, but Xiao Wu and Ye Qiu have become one. 6 streams of light overflowed, they were shrouded in the bodies of the 3 Jade Rabbit Mechas present. Suddenly, Ye Qiu felt a warm energy pouring in from his limbs, and his body became much more relaxed. Xiao Wu, Ye Qiu, it feels so comfortable. The consciousness of the 2 people is one, and there is no need for extra communication at all. Eyes of insight open, Zhao Wuji's movement slowed down, and the flow of soul power and various analyses came to his mind. Haha. Good guy, there are actually people from the Qibao glazed sect. This year's candidates really opened my eyes. Zhao Wuji looked at the people in front of him in surprise, with a look of interest in his eyes. Old man Flanders must be extremely excited this time, Zhao Wuji said as he spoke. Then he threw the incense in his hand and inserted it into the ground. Just at this time, the leaves are dancing. P.S. Abbreviation, the 3rd soul skill is teleportation. In the case of martial soul fusion skills, the range of random movement increases from 5 meters to 10 meters. Swish. When Ye Wu's figure disappeared from sight, Tang San reacted immediately. Here we go. Zhao Wuji just dropped the incense in his hand on the ground, but a blue-white figure suddenly appeared in front of him. I wish you all a happy life. Chapter 89 Sister Xiaowu knows everything. You are listening at novelfull.audio. So fast. Zhao Wuji's eyes flashed with wonder, obviously not expected. Ye Wu's speed will be so fast, take advantage of yourself. A pair of luminous eyes had already seen the weak points in Zhao Wuji's soul power. Chap. Mechanical clang. Ye Wu clenched her fists. He hit the carotid artery on Zhao Wuji's neck directly. Zhao Wuji's eyes widened. A faint popping sound was heard in the air. After this punch, even the Soul Emperor would not dare to be on guard. Soul Saint's reaction was quick. Zhao Wuji was about to raise his hand. The first soul skill, entanglement. Tang San's black and blue silver grass had already wrapped around his body. Good boy. Zhao Wuji made a move. The whole body was stirred up by the soul power, and he didn't dare to be careless. He immediately entered the state of possession by the martial soul. Puff. Tang San's blue-silver grass collapsed on Zhao Wuji's swollen body. Bang. There was a muffled sound. Due to the possession of Wuhuan, Zhao Wuji became taller. Ye Wu's iron fist, it fell on Zhao Wuji's shoulders. The whole bare body trembled, and he took a few steps back, and the ground beneath his feet sank a little. Hi. Zhao Wuji covered his left shoulder and took a breath of cold air. I just feel pain in my shoulder. One arm became numb for a moment, eyes wide open. It seems I have to be more serious. After being possessed by Xiao Wuji's martial spirit, the whole body is covered with a thick layer of brown hair, the height is over 2.5 meters, and the muscles all over the body are bulging, the brown eyes reveal domineering animal nature. 7 soul rings were beating around him. Ye Wu didn't pause, he raised his legs high on the spot again, and thrusts popped out from his toes. The cold light is dazzling, he poked Xiao Wuji's chin. Roar! A bear howl that did not sound like a human being, the shock made people's ears confused. The first soul skill, Fudo Mingwang Shen. Xiao Wuji's eyes gleamed with coldness, and his fists suddenly clenched. Among the 7 soul rings on his body, the first yellow soul ring lit up instantly, intense golden light erupted almost instantly. Also at the same time, Ye Wu's figure disappeared from the spot. Ye Qiu knows, Xiao Wuji's first soul skill is difficult to pick up. It can deflect all attacks within 3 meters. Tang San had just explored the blue-silver grass, all were smashed to pieces by the powerful soul power. As a result, Tang San's face turned a little pale. Swish. Just now Ye Wu and Tang San were taking action. Zhu Zhuqing was not idle either, he had already circled behind Xiao Wuji. After being possessed by a martial spirit, on the head is a swaggering cat, and on the lower back is a soft cat tail, swaying in the air. Her eyes changed color at the same time. The left eye was dark green and the right eye was blue, with a faint phantom. The attack is sharp and focused on finding the vital points. The timing is also just right. It happened that after Xiao Wuji used his strength to shatter Tang San's blue-silver grass, the golden light dissipated and the strength in his body relaxed. The first soul skill, Netherworld Thrust. The first soul ring under his feet flickered, the phantoms overlapped one after another, and 2 cat claws passed through it, one scratching its throat and the other the base of its ears, looking for the most vulnerable parts of the human body. Pity. The body possessed by Xiao Wuji's martial spirit looked like it was made of steel. Her cat claws struck with full force. Can't hurt him either. Xiao Wuji shook his head and moved his recovered arms. He grinned and said, You don't seem to have much strength, little girl. Then let me show you Sister Xiaowu's strength. The voice just fell, a heavy body stood on his shoulders, the toes suddenly turn inward, point on the aorta on both sides of Xiao Wuji's neck. Xiao San, Zhu Zhuqing. Ye Qiu's voice sounded. Tang San understood immediately. The first soul skill, blue-silver coil. Black-blue, arm-thick grass vines suddenly grew out from under Xiao Wuji's feet. It just entangled one of his feet, destroying his body balance. The second soul skill, 100 Claws of the Netherworld. Zhu Zhuqing was not willing to lag behind. The 2 yellow soul rings attached to her body also lit up at the same time, and the pupils in her eyes, one blue and one green, suddenly stood up, quietly. His body instantly soared into the air, and the whole person was balled up in the air under the wrap of soul power. It spun rapidly and saw claw shadows one after another. In a short time, he was at the same position behind Xiao Wuji. Hundreds of attacks were made, like a rapidly rotating sawtooth gear, cutting rapidly. The first soul skill is the waist bow. Ye Wu clamped Xiao Wuji's head and twisted his body with all his strength, spinning in the air. If it was just Ye Wu, he might not be able to drive Xiao Wuji. But at this moment, Zhu Zhuqing's attack distracted him. Tang San had already grabbed his lower body. Xiao Wuji's entire body was lifted up from the ground. Swish. Ye Wu teleported, grasped his ankles with both hands, arch his waist, and double his waist strength. Hey! The first soul skill, Fudo Mingwang Shen. Xiao Wuji sneered, his body glowing with golden light. Not good. Tang San's eyes narrowed. Immediately stretch out the blue-silver grass. Respond to Zhu Zhuqing. It's a pity that it's still a step too late. Zhu Zhuqing has not yet withdrawn from the range of Xiao Wuji's skills. Was ejected. There was a muffled groan in the air. There was blood spilling from the corner of his mouth. 2 straight long legs carved 2 ravines on the ground. He glanced behind himself. Dai Mubai wanted to come over and catch him. The pale little face is cold. Indifferent. What happened? Xiao Wuji felt the sound of wind in his ears. The picture in front of me kept rotating. This iron lump was actually not injured by his own soul skills. The power has become stronger. This is because Ye Wu used the 4th soul skill in time, invincible golden body, invincible for 3 seconds and doubled in strength. Xiao Wuji wanted to do something. It's too late. Just like that, he was led by Ye Wu. the two of them were like invincible Hot Wheels. It rotated violently 3 times in the air, causing Xiao Wuji's head to drop and hit the ground heavily, the moment before Xiao Wuji's body was about to hit the ground. Ye Wu trembled, teleported again, appearing next to Tang San. After being possessed by Xiao Wuji's martial spirit, his huge body hit the ground heavily, the entire head was completely sunk into the soil. Tang San looked at Xiao Wu, who was standing in front of him and was more than a head taller than him, eyes twinkling. He couldn't help but ask, "Xiao Wu, are we going too hard?" "What are you thinking?" Ye Qiu's voice came out, then it was Xiao Wu. "Didn't you see that guy only used his first soul skill?" Ye Qiu rolled his eyes inwardly. This little rabbit actually dared to steal his own lines. Xiao Wu, hee hee. Sister Xiaowu knows what Ye Qiu is thinking and what he wants to say. Swish. Zhu Zhuqing got rid of Dai Mubai. Miaoman's figure appeared next to Ye Wu. Ye Qiu ignored Xiao Wu's unhappiness and asked, "How is it? Are you okay?" Zhu Zhuqing pursed her red lips and shook her head indifferently. She glanced at the incense on the ground on the other side. Only 1/3 of it was burnt. He said firmly, "I can still resist. That I wish you all a happy life." Chapter 90. You don't follow martial ethics. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhu Zhuqing just finished speaking. Ye Wu's figure suddenly disappeared in front of them. Xiao Wuji was groggy, and Ye Wu's strength made him feel a little uncomfortable. "Put your arms on the ground, I just wanted to pull my head out." At this time, Xiao Wuji suddenly discovered, his ankle was grabbed again. "I'll kill you while you're sick." Xiao Wuji, who was lying upside down like a green onion, was picked up by Ye Wu again. Xiao Wu's cheerful voice rang in everyone's ears. "Haha. Ye Qiu, you are so bad. Sister Xiaowu likes it very much." At the same time, I was also supplementing the second half in my mind. "You brat. Don't you have martial ethics?" Xiao Wuji roared angrily, and his whole body shot straight to the ground. Dai Mubai not far away, you can feel the vibration of the ground. "It is good." The little witch Ning Rongrong's eyes gleamed, and she suddenly felt that Ye Qiu was not so annoying. "There is a certain amount that suits my taste." Xiao Wuji was photographed in all kinds of ways, and his internal organs were shocked. Ye Wu hasn't stopped yet. Without pause, the waist arch increases waist strength by 100%, then he threw Xiao Wuji away. The first soul skill, Fudo Mingwang Shen. The first soul ring was still shining, and Ye Wu's figure did not move at all. "Draw the bow, smash it hard to the ground." Tang San and Zhu Zhuqing looked at each other. "No more hesitation. To commit, you must enter the battlefield and seize the opportunity to attack." The images rolled before my eyes. It made Xiao Wuji look ugly. "I will be their teacher in the future. If you are being hammered over and over again now, how will you be dignified in the future?" Bang! There was a violent vibration on the ground. Xiao Wuji was smashed to the ground again, lying in a big pit. The third soul skill, Blue-Silver Strangulation. Dozens of blue-silver grass vines as thick as thighs tightly restrain Xiao Wuji. Like a python, it keeps shrinking, the barbs on it just pierce the clothes. The second soul skill, 100 Claws of the Netherworld. Zhu Zhuqing's eyes flashed with coldness as he endured the pain. The sharp cat claws scratched Xiao Wuji's face. "I have to be more serious." Xiao Wuji was somewhat disdainful of these attacks, just about to use soul skills, but he saw Ye Wu turning twice and a half in the air, then fell vertically. Flying kick, the sharp toes stabbed directly between Xiao Wuji's legs. "Xiao Wu, you are so bad. Ye Qiu, I just adopted your suggestion." The exchange of consciousness between the two was fleeting. Xiao Wuji looked at Ye Wu's attack. His face instantly darkened. No delay. Roar! A roar echoed through half of the academy. The Soul Saint level soul power exploded in full force. "I haven't used any soul skills yet." Tang San's blue-silver strangler was shattered on the ground. It made him look a little pale. Fortunately this time he reacted more quickly, pulled Zhu Zhuqing back. There was no wind or waves around Xiao Wuji, and his majestic body suddenly stood up. The second soul skill, the powerful Vajra palm. The huge palm was raised, the second soul ring on his body lit up at the same time. The bear's paws turned golden and more than doubled in size, shot directly into the air. The second soul skill, Parasitism. Xiao Wuji paused, and blue-silver grass kept coming out of his body. Just this moment, Ye Wu's body spun, the legs were like battle axes and slashed towards Xiao Wuji's Tianling Gai. Xiao Wuji raised his head. Lo, my head feels dizzy and burning, bleeding. Teacher Xiao is actually injured. Dai Mubai looked at the blood stain on Xiao Wuji's forehead. It's really weird. You. Xiao Wuji suddenly raised his head, the khaki eyes stared at the boss, as if he was a little angry. A low growl came from his mouth. Those two huge palms crushed Ye Wu directly, make him a living sandwich. Bang. The wind and waves are sweeping. Ye Wu once again used teleportation to escape. Xiao Bai, why are you laughing so hard? Do you want to practice with me? Xiao Wuji's fierce eyes made Dai Mubai, who was snickering, stiffen. He knows, Xiao Wuji was really a little angry. Ye Qiu and the others were going to suffer. The words fell, the third and fourth soul rings on Xiao Wuji lit up at the same time. It's already pretty good that I can use the fourth soul skill. I'm eligible for admission. The third soul skill, gravity enhancement. Ye Wugang met with Tang San and others. His body suddenly felt heavy, like being stuck in a quagmire. Movement becomes difficult. The fourth soul skill, positioning tracking. The fourth soul ring suddenly left Xiao Wuji's feet. It's like I have eyes. Put it on Ye Wu. What does it mean? Tang San felt a chill in his heart. Ye Qiu calmly urged, quick. Stay away from me. Swish. Ye Qiu finished speaking. A black shadow enveloped him. Xiao Wuji was already standing behind Ye Wu. That huge bare paw, it fell brazenly towards Ye Wu's head. Tang San and Zhu Zhuqing's pupils shook violently. Want to retreat? It's too late to be in this quagmire. Swish. Xiao Wuji just showed up. Ye Wu, who had been prepared for a long time, looked in his eyes. Suddenly a bright crimson light appeared. The second soul skill, charm. Xiao Wu Ye Qiu and Xiao Wu Ye Qiu were united in their thoughts, but the backlash was no match for Mao Yu. Xiao Wuji was stunned for a moment. Ye Wu has already approached him. The iron hand opens. There are a few grains of gravel suspended on it. With the injection of soul power, it instantly transformed into a dragon beard needle. Ye Wu was not polite, pat Xiao Wuji's arm muscles, then teleported away, just for a moment. Xiao Wuji came to his senses and was still unaware. He praised, what a good guy, he also has charm-type soul skills. Saying that, he changed his moves and struck at Tang San and Zhu Zhuqing. Bang. It's almost impossible to escape. Tang San had no choice but to wrap himself in blue-silver grass. He took the palm abruptly. Wow! Tang San was shot and flew out, half kneeling on the ground. He spit out some blood, watching. The other palm is about to touch Zhu Zhuqing. Xiao Wuji's expression suddenly changed. Several bulges suddenly appeared on the arms. Xiao Wuji only felt extremely painful. With the strength of his nerves, he couldn't help but gasp, and his whole body spasmed in pain. Bang. Just when he was miserable, he still gritted his teeth and patted Zhu Zhuqing on the shoulder. Zhu Zhuqing groaned in pain. Ye Wu appears. He held her in his arms and flew away. Ye Qiu. Xiao Wu resented in her heart. Ye Wu relied on her insightful eyes to quickly repair her dislocated arm. Blue Silver Emperor. Live forever. Zhu Zhuqing was about to pass out when he felt a wave of warmth wrapping around him. The pale face gained color. Dai Mubai stopped as he was about to step forward, looking strange. You brat. What did you just do? Xiao Wuji covered his right arm, with cold sweat breaking out on his forehead. Without waiting for Zhu Zhuqing to speak, Ye Wu quickly put her down. Good, the cat is soft. Ye Qiu. Xiao Wu was very angry. Ye Qiu's metallic voice came out. Nothing, just a little gadget. You brat. Teacher Xiao, that's enough. I just heard you say that we are already qualified for admission. Ye Qiu said calmly, I wish you all a happy life.